how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Ass Hat Podcast on YouTube. Let me get us a drink here, everybody. Give me a second. Decided I'm going to do one. This is going to be 3 different companies that tried publishing superhero comics for kids, like younger kids. So, I mean, really by the 80s, yeah, comics are being read by kids, but they were more aimed at teenagers and adults. I mean, that's just the way it was. So, got 3 comics here, and we'll put 2 of them to the side. These are all 70s and 80s. We'll start off with a 25-center issue of Super Goof, which contains damage. Super Goof. Don't think he ever made any animated appearances I know of. This was strictly a Whitman Gold Key. I don't know if he appeared under Dell or not. Creation. Goofy ate these super goobers, put on this your red pair of pajamas and a blanket around this. He can fly around with superpowers while the peanuts were in his system. And he fought crazy shit like the cheap imitation was a bird. All that. Oh wow, the cover's actually wow. Excuse me. I don't know exactly where the fuck I got this issue. This is the cheap imitation. Cheap! It is most unusual for the fearless Super Goof to be out-supered by a common parakeet. Believe it or not, it actually happened. It started instantly enough. Clarabelle Cow. They would use... And let's see, the cover's coming off. This is really beautiful. They would use characters that you did not normally see in Disney stuff back then. And Bird ends up eating one of the peanuts, becomes Super Bird. Oh, check out the old baseball cards that came on the Hostess snack boxes. And he fights... I mean, the Beagle Boys were kind of like your top villain team. They're like their Hydra or AIM, you know, of the Disney. And these were actually fun. It's like kind of like how, you know... That was what I thought was always neat about what was it, Dell, Whitman, and Gold Key. You know, they all had Disney characters that were kind of created for their comics that, you know, some of them went on to be big, like Uncle Scrooge. He didn't appear in any animated cartoon until Mickey's Christmas Carol in, what, 80... I'm going to say 87. I know it's in the 80s. But, you know, and it became huge. DuckTales on. Now, I would say more kids probably know Uncle Scrooge and have seen more stuff with Uncle Scrooge than even, like, Mickey. I wish Super Goof here. I wish Disney, you know, with all the superhero shit going on, you know, have Super Goof here. I'd love it. Why isn't there a weekly Super Goof cartoon? Fighting the Beagle Boys, you know, the Beagle Boys and everything. I'm pretty sure the Beagle Boys first appeared in the comics. There's a lot of Disney stuff a lot of the really good stuff that works in the modern era of Disney is from the comics. So yeah, got a Super Bird. This show, look at this. It's like kids iron-on transfer. Look, they got Budweiser. They got well, they wouldn't have a Rebel Flag one anymore either. The Black Power Fist, they probably would not have that anymore. Coors. That's about it. And this is the doer of dastardly deeds. The mayor has assigned Super Goof to do a super cleanup job for the sanitation department. These are embroidered patches. I'd love a bunch of these. Alfred E. Newman, Snuffy Snuff. Just, you know, kind of cool little, fun little kids comics. I really love Super Goof as a kid. And it's one where I don't think it was ever monthly. I would just find them when I found them. Most of them I'd find them in the Whitman packs. Alright, well, DC had tried superpower characters before. And DC had tried, you know, funny animal characters before. And then in 80, I think it was about 82 probably, they put out one of my favorite 80s comics from DC. That'd be Captain Carrot and His Amazing Zoo Crew. Now, this is issue 12, so this is a good ways into the run. And I'm wanting to say by this time, it was monthly. Okay, so let's just start off with a roll call. We got Bird Reynolds, a.k.a. Rubber Duck. Peter... Okay, he was a pig back in the day in the DC Funny Animal Comics. He's now Pig Iron. We got Captain Carrot, whose name is like Roger or Rodney Rabbit. Fastback, who's an old DC Funny Animal character, got powers now. Abracadab Cat, Yankee Poodle, and this is Minnie Mouse. When they're fighting the fat cat, that's the Scott Shaw. Oh, we got the fucking old ad at M Networks and television games. But that was it. Scott Shaw's the writer and the cartoonist. Al Gordon inkers. Roy Thomas. Okay, he did the Just a Lot of Animals comic. This was a alternate Earth, and they kind of ended it after Crisis because they destroyed all their alternate Earths, which sucks. Like this inside the pinball machine, and there's the mouse. Little candy things. So this was DC's attempt, and they have brought Captain Carrot back a couple of different times. There was like a really dark one they did a few years ago. Well, more than probably about 10, 15 years ago. That was not that great. Give me a second. Sorry about that. She betrayed the team. Minnie Mouse was dead. The Yankee Poodle was like a gossip reporter. All of them had different jobs. Oh man, make your first adventure in Endless Quest with the D&D or the TSR Choose Your Own Adventure books. I love these, but this is a great little comic that they scheduled in like a DC showcase, because this is only 12 to 16 issues. About 16 probably maybe. It was a little bit over a year, and then they did 4-issue, the Oz Wonderland War, where it included, the Captain Carrot characters, the Wizard of Oz character, the Oz Land characters, and Alice in Wonderland, the Lewis Carroll stuff. I want to say that was included too, but I don't think that ever came out. I heard like there's rights issues or something with this shit. But it was just a fun Sergeant Rock toys from Remco, man. Remco always had, that's the cool thing about Remco, Remco is one of the toys companies, like, something's hot, we're going to hop on it, but G.I. Joe's hot, so we're going to have Sergeant fucking Rock. He-Man and Conan's hot, so we got Warlord, so we got Warlord toys, Or, WWF is super hot, so we're going to have the AWA. I love those toys, though. Oh, and the old ad, the Magic Snake, the little comic ad. The kid always loved it when they had an ad that was a comic. I was like, I got another page of comics, Because as a kid, this is... I was really limited. So 23 pages, I love this. Somebody drew, Farrah Fawcett as some potential already furry drew Farrah Fawcett as a fox. Amdar. Okay, so that's 80, what did I say that was? That was 83, so about a year into it. Then not too long after that, and that did fairly well. And this one did just about as well. This is Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man. They just basically anthropomorphs took their characters, like Spider-Man, and anthropomorphic them. Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man. There's Captain America Cat. There was Goose Rider instead of Ghost Rider. Started off, they did a Marvel back in the day had a reprint title. Started off reprinting like a couple years into their run of the Silver Age run of Marvel. It was called Marvel Tales, Tales, and they would reprint shit that was out of print, kind of hard to come by. And it was like an exercise issue. Well, after a little bit, it just became their Marvel title. They reprinted old Spider-Man stuff. Was a gag one-off. They did one called Marvel Tales, Tales, one issue. Peter Parker first appeared there. Hulk Bunny, Goose Rider, Captain America Cat, Captain America Cat, all that shit. And they ended up doing a star comic of Peter Parker. And was this monthly or was it bi-monthly? It's 87. July through November it was monthly. The rest of the year it was not. So December through June it came out every 2 months. So you weren't getting 12 a year. But this is a horror issue. I got a nice little stat. They've done a trade, but I don't know how much, if it's everything or not. And this is he's fighting what was it? Quackula. Okay, we got Mike Carlin writing, Joe Abello penciling, Pierre Fournier inker, Janice Shang letters. Oh, we got the Flintstones ad. How many kids only know the Flintstones because of cereal and shit? And it was always really cool. And it's another character. They brought him back. I think he appeared in the Spider-Verse movie. Love the art on that laser tag ad. Just another way they're trying to get kids, because I do know some people that had like younger brothers and sisters, younger than me, that they got into comics through Captain Carrot or Super Goof or Peter Porter, Free the Captain mystery with Spider-Man team and trying to find Captain Crunch. They only showed Captain Crunch. And these are little kids that helped out Peter. Oh, the old Saturday morning ads. Kissy Fur, Gummy Bears, Chipmunks, Foo Fur, Smurfs, Punky Brewster cartoon kid video, and one to grow on. Oh man, that's a lot of crazy shit in there. Chickenstein's monsters all made out of fruit. The Mummy, a cow mummy. The old Bonkers. I think they make Bonkers anymore. The Fig Newton ads. Nick Fury, Agent of Sheep, and that's another thing. And Dodo Duggan. They give you, what is it? About 17 pages, so they give you a backup. And it's always short. Defenders, this is the Star and Inhumanoids. Inhumanoids is a one. Hold on. Attention all cheap units. Death Squawk. Instead of Deathlock, it's Death Squawk. Yes, Death Squawk. He's a chicken. And that's it. Oh man, I just thought it'd be something neat to talk about. I love me some comics. These kind of comics I still enjoy. I mean, these are the ones that you don't see in the comic shops, because especially in good condition, because these were read by kids, bought off the newsstand, beat up, This is an untapped market, I think, for slab stuff, high grade shit. These high grade issues of some of these series, ain't easy to find. Talk to any Whitman Gold Key collector, they'll tell you later issues of some of these series are really rough to find. There's some issues that are only published in packs of 3. Like SpiderMan issues. I mean, for a perfect example, when I was getting out of high school, the comic boom was happening at the time. The 2 Marvel series that you couldn't get a penny for. Actually, 3. I'll give you 3 Marvel series you cannot get a penny for. That kind of connected this, in a way, because they were not aimed at your typical comic market. Was the Star Wars series from Marvel wasn't worth shit. Maybe the last issue or so, because Weiss Pataccio worked on it, but that was it. First issue had a little parade, but anything in the middle, not worth shit. G.I. Joe. There was one issue that McFarlane was supposed to work on that I had a little value, and Transformers. Then now, because that was the series that kids bought off the newsstand, they're beat up high grade copies of that shit. Woo! I got a buddy that's trying to build a G.I. Joe complete run for Marvel, and he's trying to get them all near mint. And he was actually talking about getting them high grade, slab copies. He started like, no. And as a matter of fact, he's already switched. As long as they're complete, I'm good. He saw some of them issues, honestly, like the last issue of G.I. Joe from Marvel and the last issue of Transformers in person, not slabbed and all that. I'm talking about at a convention or whatever. I've only seen 2 copies of each that were mint. And one copy on both of those was owned by a friend of mine that was a huge fan of both franchises and read the series all the way to the end. So this is, you're digging through your cheap bench, you find these are not good shit. These are reader copy. Might be a decent little investment. Well, I'm out, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, if you did, give me that thumbs up. Leave a comment for comment. What was your kid's superhero book? You know what I'm saying? Was it the normal stuff? Was it, I was reading the normal stuff too, but these are the ones I also picked up. These are ones like my grandpa grabbed for me. Like, I remember him grabbing me Super Goof, or my aunt grabbed me some Captain Carrot. By the time Peter Porker was hitting in, 87? Oh shit, I was a teenager. I was still reading it. Talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.